Okay, I'm going to call our regular Board of Education meeting to order. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next, our mission statement. Tracy?
At Richmond Community Schools, we provide a quality education that empowers students to be successful in a global community. Jessica? Here. Sarah? Here. Margaret? Here. Chris? Here. Sue? Here. I am here.
Kyle should be here any minute.
Will be here soon. So we have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, next, looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
A motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Chris, was it you? It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, approval of the consent agenda. Looking for a motion.
A motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the consent agenda as presented in the attached documentation.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Brian?
In the payroll report, there are two positions that are new. One is Angela Blake, who will be for the payroll employees benefit coordinator, as well as Deb Lewis to be an interim. Currently, we have a void with our previous payroll and benefit coordinator leaving. So Deb Lewis has agreed to come back and work with us to process payroll as well as to train Angela once she comes on board. And then Angela will join us at the next board meeting to be formally introduced by the board. To the board.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, closed session for purposes of a student discipline hearing.
Pursuant to Section 8B of the Michigan Open Meetings Act and upon the request of the student parent, I move that the Board of Education go into closed session for the purpose of conducting a hearing to consider the discipline of a student whose identity is known to the board as student 092418.
Support. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are going to adjourn to our closed session and we will return. Okay, we are back in open session. It's 8:25. We are now at the portion of our meeting where it is public comment. If there is anyone who would like to address the board, they may do so. You can come up to the podium. There should be a card there that you can leave your name and number. It is not a question and answer period, but if you do have a question that needs to be answered by leaving your name and number, someone will get back with you. You have 3 minutes to speak. Is there anyone who would like to address the board?
Hello, Ann Durst. I am the new STEAM teacher at the Lee School. So I just wanted to say a thank you to Mr. Robinson and the board for approving the STEAM classroom. I'm having a ball. I'm going from being called the Labor League and Mrs. STEAM. So, it's good. And a big shout out to the printer was the 3D printer that I received from the Richmond Education Foundation. Thanks to them as well. And this was we're paying half of it. I just got it last week, and so we're going to get it put together. And I was very impressed with when I brought it up, especially with my 3rd and 4th grade students, because quite several of them raised their hands and said they knew what one was, that their parent used it at work to make prototypes at work. So a lot of them were familiar with it. So I'm very excited to get that started. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Lexi.
Well, all the schools are starting to get back into their normal routines. The Lee School, on Tuesday, September 25th, the PTO is holding the World's Greatest Chocolate Fundraiser Assembly, and this will be held in the afternoon. On Thursday, September 27th, Jim Shepard will be coming in, and he delivers dictionaries to all of the 3rd grade students, and this is done annually. Friday, September 28th, a PBIS assembly will be held, and in this assembly, True Blue students will be recognized. And there are 2 True Blue students per classroom, and they're all chosen by the teachers. At the middle school, the club meetings have begun, and at the meetings, the students are given expectations that they are supposed to uphold for the rest of the year. And in Webb, the 5th grade orientation has taken place. And also at the middle school, the end of EA testing is being held. And lastly, for the middle school, their PBS assembly will be held Tuesday. And moving on to the high school, they're finishing up their end of EA testing. On October 2nd, the RHS Marching Band will be traveling to Croslex for their BWAC Invitational, and the performance starts at 6:30 if anybody would like to attend. On October 5th is Manufacturing Day, and on this day, any students who have a job interest in manufacturing get the opportunity to job shadow in many local businesses. And Homecoming Week starts October 8th and it goes until the 12th. The high school will have a different themed spirit day every day of that week. The Powder Puff game will be on Monday, the 8th of October, and this starts at 5:30. The parade will be Friday, October 12th at 5, and the football game kickoff will be at 7 p.m. the 12th.
Do you have your big theme days yet?
I'm not sure about the theme days yet, but if anybody's interested, I will be posting the theme days on the RHS student representative account on Twitter once I figure it out.
Oh, okay.
You sure you gotta use Twitter?
No.
For any students that are interested.
Does anyone know, do we know how many years Jim Shepard has been doing the dictionary?
It's been a number.
I know it has, but I just wondered, I mean,
Maybe we could ask him when,
Yeah, I'll ask him this week.
it has been many years.
it has to be 20. Okay. Huh?
At least 40.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I just want to send them a note, but it's just a great thing that they continue to do it year after year. It's really cool. You good?
Yep, that's all I
Okay.
have.
All right, thank you. Next, superintendent legislative update.
Not a lot is happening on the legislative front. They have 6 days left to work before the election, which hopefully they won't work, and they'll go through the election with but as I mentioned previously, our concern is what happens after the election. Tomorrow at the Macomb Intermediate School District, the candidates for State School Board of Education are having a forum. It's being moderated by Tim Skubik. And one of the candidates is our own Judy Pritchard from the ISD is running for State School Board of Education. It is open to the public. It begins at 7:30. Prior to the meeting, I believe it's 6 o'clock is the county school board meeting. If anybody in the listening audience wants to hear the candidates, this will be the, you cannot vote straight party in this one, so they actually have to vote for them. This will be the last election that happened that way, and it goes back to straight party if people wanted to. But this is the state board. There's a law that prohibits the state board from appointing a superintendent 3 months before, 3 months after election because of the lame duck session and so forth. So this is the board that will be elected come January 1 that will determine who our next school board, state school board. So it's very important people know who the candidates are, what they stand for, and their belief in public education. Kudos to the district. We received the SEG Safety Award for the school year 2017-18 of having 0 accidents, and they will be presenting the district with an award for this accomplishment. There's only 5 of us in this pool that have won this award statewide. There's well over 500 school districts statewide. Give a shout out to Mr. Estrada, our food service director. He was recently published, and I sent the newsletter out this afternoon to the board, but you have a copy of this, but on page 18, it talks about his first year as a food service director, and not only as a food service director, but also taking over a culinary arts program, as well as starting a Meet Up and Eat Up summer program for the first time. So he had a lot on his plate, and he did an outstanding job with it. So if you get a minute, you could read the article. But this is from the Michigan School Nutrition Association, so it goes out throughout the entire state of Michigan. And the last thing is, a couple weeks ago, about a week ago now, we put a posting out and tried to incentivize people to become bus drivers. This is a national problem. It's a Macomb County problem, but it's also national. So there's two incentives out there. If you recommend someone to be a bus driver and they complete the training and become a bus driver, there's a $250 stipend. So that can go to anybody who recommends it and the person completes the training. And then the person who does the training and stays on board with us for a while, there's a stipend for that person to try to draw bus drivers. Since we posted this, we did get 3 applications and people are starting to go through the process. It is a very extensive training process, as it should be. I mean, they carry our most precious kids. But our hope is that we have more bus drivers to be able to do more of the runs. And I also sent out a letter to the community just to remind everybody, because of the shortages in drivers, some of our athletic runs have had to be canceled because we don't have enough drivers. So those parents that are stepping up to carpool, we have provided them credits towards the reimbursement of their pay to participate, like we would if they took the tickets or did the clock for the game. So this is a thank you to them. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next is items of interest from members of the board. Anybody?
I managed to read Mr. Estrada's article when you sent that out. It's great. It's great, and it's exciting to listen to someone who's very excited about what he does here. Maybe we could put that on our website where parents and community and that could read his article. It's very good.
As a first-time director, we started work at Culinary Arts. Mrs. Shad, he had the audit. He said this is his 3rd audit he's gone through. All of his audits have come through with flying colors, and yet alone working and learning the food service director position. So he's jumped in head first, and he's doing very well.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on to our action items. First, the approval of wrestling overnight trips. You know that 2 weeks ago, Coach Dave was here, made his presentation, so there's a sample resolution.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the overnight wrestling tournaments as presented during the September 10, 2018 board meeting and included in the attached documentation.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, approval of contract for high school culinary arts room remodeling. Did you have anything additional?
I just want to introduce the gentleman. This process has been a long process. We went to it's all been approved by the state. There's one change that the state is recommending. They want a second door, but you'll see a map here of the culinary arts drawing, where the top part is the restaurant and the bottom part, the extension of the room, is the actual culinary arts kitchen area. We put it out to bid. North American Construction Enterprises was the contractor who was successful in the bid. Their references, the people that I've talked to have had nothing but good things to say about them. You have Paul Dunn, who is the senior project supervisor here tonight, as well as Jared Pratt, who would be the project superintendent on the job. Pending your action tonight, we will begin the process of we're meeting on Wednesday to finalize and get the timeline done with the anticipation that come January 2nd, kids are starting here cooking.
So these are the guys that are going to make it happen.
These are the guys that are going to make it happen.
Okay.
So in your packet, you'll see the backup with several drawings. It was designed with John Estrada, the food service, and former principal Devin Sean when we had to look at the CTE requirements. It does require it to be a fully functioning commercial kitchen. There are some of the items in the backup that we are choosing as a district to purchase separate from the bid. For instance, the tables up there, the fridge and freezer we're going to purchase. There's some other items listed here. Mixers, which we've already purchased, the carts to put them on the mixer. the mobile tables there in the center of what we've identified. Talking to John, we don't know if we want 2 or 3. We're not going to look at the space and be able to adapt. The total cost of the project is about $199,280. When you look at what's left in the Series 3 bond, it is now the computer lab replacement and our process for the one-to-one technology. And that is, the money is still sitting there for those, as well as the bus next year. Everything on the bus purchase. I think Sarah had asked me questions. I think I got all your questions. Our current numbers, this year we had enough to run 3 sections. With scheduling, we have 2 that are running. Ideally, what we'd like to get is a year 1 and a year 2 constantly running. Right now we have 2 year 1s. Our anticipation is that sometimes kids don't finish the program. This isn't the area they want to go to. So maybe we'll have a larger year 1 and a small year 2 classes, but at least 2. Potentially I could see 2 year 1s and 1 year 2 with the enrollment. This seems to be a very popular class. They've done a lot of partnerships with the TV production. They've done some cooking shows that you can see on the website. And kids really enjoy it.
I know a number of students that have it so far this year, and they're very excited.
This first part, they do the safe serve, so it's all the regulations you got to get through first, and then second semester is when all the excitement really starts. Any other questions? You see the scope of the project is in there. There's drawings if anybody would like to see the drawings. As I said, everything's been sent to the state. The state has signed off. The only thing they did ask, and we got a clarification, is they're asking for a second entrance to the room. So we'll sit down and figure out where that best. Because currently the windows in there are considered fire exits, the second entrance, and there are 3 of them. So I don't know if the state realized that or if they need a physical door entrance over the clarification.
So Brian, when you say we're going to purchase some things, is that included in this quote right here, or is that going to be in addition to?
That would be in addition to it. It would be the supplies that we budgeted for the program or the added cost dollars that we received for the program. Last year they spent, Mrs. Michon and Mr. Estrada spent a lot of hours getting CT certified, if you will, that's the correct term. This year we're doing the cybersecurity to get it classified as a CT course. So we'll start receiving dollars. In the past, we've used those dollars. AIS was one year we invested there. If you remember one of the presentations they came to, they showed the different models that they were doing. We've invested in computers for the television production course. We've invested some material, but mostly because the EMT already had it, but in the EMT course and the police program, there's a name for it. Criminal justice and law course, yes. So we've invested in material. So this would be our focus, is using those added cost dollars, what we can into this program.
So this that we're approving tonight will come from the bond.
Correct.
The additional materials will come from the CTE credit dollars.
CTE, or we have line items in the general budget when we did the budget for supplies for this program.
Okay, so nothing from general fund that would be above and beyond anything we've already done.
You're going to have to amend the budget, which would be general fund for the CT in February, because we don't have those dollars allocated at this point.
But then they'll be in place.
Yes.
Okay. And in the next 2 to 3 years, do you see any additional expenditures we would need to keep this program up and running? Significant expenditures?
The only expenditures that I would see would be the consumables, but the intent is once we get in that year 2 operational and you open up where you can start selling the food, that the sales help offset that cost. It's not going to be a cost neutral, but it will offset. And we build that in there now with all of our programs, most of our programs. There's a line item for consumables that we're going to have to spend every year.
Good. Okay. There's a sample resolution.
Motion to authorize the superintendent to enter into a contract with North American Construction Enterprises, LLC, for the renovation of the culinary arts room for a total not to exceed $199,280 plus a 10% contingency for site conditions, for which funding from the 2013 voter approved bond is authorized as outlined in the attached documentation.
Support. Chris, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, it has been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Sarah?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Jessica?
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
And I vote aye, motion carries. Next is motion regarding our student discipline hearing, and Kyle has the motion.
I motion that following a closed session hearing, the board votes to suspend student 092418, consistent with the attached resolution.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That concludes our business. We're adjourned at 8:43.